After the game, it's the aftermath. Win or lose, we still wave our commander's flag. Riding with Wentz under center, making the pass. Jahan Dotson, young rookie, making a splash. That burgundy and gold, that's what we about. Jonathan Allen knocking QBs to the ground. We die hard and nobody can shut us down. Cause this is the greatest show in town. Let's go! Go, 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 go.
What's good, Washington Commander fans? All right, today's been a pretty eventful and very informational day. If that's even a word, informational, but hey, I'm gonna use it anyway for this video. Seems like after yesterday's Twitter bombshell of everything that's going haywire with the bidding and nobody knows what's really going on, today more explosion came out of nowhere. Guess what? We have two potential bidders that placed $6 billion bids for the Commanders for Daniel Snyder. Guess who they are? Nope, not Jeff Bezos. Some of y'all been thinking that. Some of y'all want Jeff Bezos, but it looks like Jeff Bezos might not make it. But little behold, Mr. Fatata is pretty much out of the running. But the two people that came in, well, it's the Josh Harris, my mistaken, Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, and Mitchell Rouse. They was the first ones to lay down a bid for Daniel Snyder at $6 billion. But guess what? Later on that day, another person came emerged. Mr. Canadian himself, Mr. Stephen Apostolopoulos. Dang, I probably pronounced that pretty right. He laid down his 6 million bid. Now, we don't know if he has 6 million because reportedly he only have 4.5. Now, where he get the other rest to add on to it to make it 6 billion, who knows? We heard Michael Jordan's name. We heard some investors in New York City. So who knows where he coming from? And little do we know that little bombshell of a nugget by the junkies about Mr. Brian Davis supposedly has $7 or $8 billion. Well, his name hasn't even dropped in the hat of making a bid. So, but these two guys here. Now, some people are saying, hey, they waiting on Bezos to drop his hat in there. I don't think that's going to happen. To me personally, not saying it can't happen, but I'm just saying I think Josh Harris, Mitchell Rouse, because I think the NFL, the financial committee, they're gonna look at both of these bids. They're gonna see where this money come from, both of these guys, and I think at the end of the day, Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, and Rouse, they will be the guys that's going to walk away as the winner. Now they did also say that pretty much that the sale could be over by the draft, no later. So if it happens around the draft and we get everything pushed around by May, hey, it's a good day for us. So, like I said, the action price to meet Snyder's action price was $6 billion, which they pretty much came up with. Now there was report by Front Office Sports saying that Harris Group didn't meet the 6 billion. There was a little bit under the 6 billion. Leave it to Mike Frollo and Peter King and all of them at Front Office Sport for Pro Football Talk. I said Front Office Sports, but Pro Football Talk. Leave it up to them to really say anything. Now, I want to shout out to George Carmi because he's been pretty active on Twitter and following Mr. Rick Snyder and everything over there, and just making sure that he um, get the funding that he needs over there, and so forth and so forth and so on. So pretty much that is one of main the main things that they pretty much looking for is the funding to making sure that everything goes according to plan. With that being said, it's not out of the realm of not out of the excuse me not out of the realm of ramification that Rouse or anybody
that's not going to get it. Now, spokespeople for Harris and the Commanders declined to comment today in USA Today Sports, while attempts to reach spokespeople for Stephen A were unsuccessful over also. And pretty much they're not going to really talk about it. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get details so they can put it out in the public. But they're not going to talk about it. All of this is formality and stuff. Um, we already know Harris been in the long. He was been in the mix for the Commanders bidding ever since expressed interest in the Denver Broncos last year, and which led to no success. Denver Broncos, was sold to somebody else. Um, Now, as crazy as this may seem, man, and I'm telling you, it's crazy. Um, Today on Dan Patrick's show, RG3 was on there, and he was talking about his potential interest in being in the ownership of the Commanders with Josh Harris doing group, and saying that he can't really talk too much about it, but there's a level of interest there. Now, don't know how true it is, don't know how much money RG3 has, and how much ownership he will have, probably 1%, but still, hey, it's part ownership. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make money off of them if he become a part owner of the team, rather if it's 1% or not. So it's hey, it's what it is. Um, so it's today's been pretty interesting. I had to say it's pretty interesting. Now people saying, now they look and say, okay, this is real. This is real right now. This is not a game. This is not a game anymore. This is real. They really they really gonna go for it with this sale of this team. So that is something that you look forward to. You making sure that this team comes to where it needs to be. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. The actual bid. Now we know that Snyder wanted $7 billion. Now we know Bezos could drop $7 billion in hat, but I don't think that he's going to, you know, um, put up. I don't think he's gonna put a bid in. But we got into the draft. We got into May. But some of the NFL owners want him, but some of them want Harris too. I've been told many, many times, but well, the NFL owners want Bezos. They want Bezos. They want Bezos. Well, I mean, that could be true, but I do believe the NFL owners want Harris doing too. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just all Bezos. I think they want Harris, and I think that I think the NFL don't want to risk. I think they will deny Stephen A, but I think they will accept the Harris group, because if they don't accept none of these bids, you know what I'm saying? If they don't accept none of these bids, now Daniel Snyder has to accept it. He has to say, okay, I'm accepting these bids. You know what I'm saying? One of these bids. He has to accept it. And that's the part I think we have to wait on. Now they put up the money for the bids. Daniel Snyder has to accept either one of them. That's the main thing he has to do, is accept one of the bids, and to order for this to take place. And hopefully he do. I think he wants Rouse, because him and Rouse has a close relationship. And he wants somebody that he could trust, that really gonna carry the franchise along the way to where it's supposed to be. So that's the issue that we facing right now. But like I said, it's a good day for the Washington Commanders, because the fact of the matter is that now we getting a little bit more traction. Yesterday, a lot of us thought that, hey, you know what, this could be dragged on a little bit longer. Now it could still drag on a little bit longer, but now that we have these bids in, and hopefully Daniel Snyder said, hey, okay, this is the person. You know what I'm saying? And then, if the NFL decides to accept Steve A, or the Josh Harris group, then they could say, well, hey, we're gonna set this group right here. Now, if they decide to not set neither one of these, then they end up pushing this back even further than what it is. Now, I think they want this is wrapped up. You could tell by the owners, they kind of like playing devil's advocate with their answers and say, oh, we don't know what's really going on. We hope that Daniel Snyder make the right decision. Roger Goodell came out today and say, "Oh, well, everything is processing with the Mary Jo White report. Everything with the sale is progressing. Hopefully, we can get a conclusion of it." Then a lot of the owners, Jerry Jones say, "Hey, him and Daniel Snyder still cool, but maybe not like it was." So they all playing this little game. If you listen to them talk, pretty well, they're saying, hey, everything's going according to plan. We just hope he makes the right decision. We don't have to go any further with this. So that's pretty much where you're looking at the situation and saying that, hey, Daniel Snyder, time's up. And I think now that Daniel Snyder is getting what he wants, the Washington Commanders pretty much will be sold as the highest selling franchise in NFL history, because what the Denver Broncos were sold for 4.5, close to 5. So Washington Commanders is going to be sold for 6, probably a little over 6, and then bam, there you have it. So nevertheless, man, it's what it is. I think that the Harris them got this. I think they got it. They got it wrapped up, and now it's time to move on and focus and do the things that we need. I will do another report tomorrow on Ron Rivera comments about Sam Howell. He compared him to Brock Purdy. I don't know why, but anyway. And they comments about not pursuing Lamar Jackson and all that stuff. So I'll comment on a little bit on that probably tomorrow. But until then, hey man, we got some traction. So let's see where it goes from here. Maybe we give it another story tomorrow. So until then, it's your boy LiveWire, and I'm out. Peace.